Welcome to the first year examination information session for Roger Williams University School of Law. This session is to give you the information that's most important as you approach any type of exam session, either midterms or finals. It's very important to make sure you're prepared for the exam session so when it gets time to have your exam, you just have to focus on your studies. Imagine the morning of an exam, you haven't prepared your computer, making sure that you're ready to take the exam. You crammed the night before, you haven't had much sleep, you spill your coffee on you in the morning, you get to the exam late, and then you have a computer issue. We hope you avoid that by being prepared and doing the steps you need to do beforehand so you do not have issue on exam day with your computer. So again, we're going to talk about many things in terms of preparing for an exam, but mostly, hopefully, focused on technology and software. So there's three types of delivery systems for your exam. One you're familiar with probably already in terms of bridges. You may do a quiz or an exam on bridges. And then there's Exemplify and Examsoft. Those are the two you haven't had any experience yet, and we're going to be talking about those today. What is the difference between Exemplify and Examsoft? You may see those terms being used interchangeably, but when in reality they are actually two different things. So Exemplify is the actual exam software that you will download to your computer. This is the software that we want to make sure your computer can handle in advance. Could be used at home. It could be used in the school building. It can be done for multiple choice exams. It can be used for essay exams. The difference with this software is that it locks down your computer. So no web access, no desktop, no other files can be used while in an exam in this software. It requires a password to get into the exam that is usually given to you on exam day by the proctor or by someone in the registrar's office. Examsoft, when used on the exam schedule, it is pertaining to usually take-home exams. So you log into the website with your login and password that we provide to you, and you can actually download an exam off the website onto your computer. Do the responses in Word, and then re-upload the exam back on the website when you're finished with the exam. So again, those are normally done for take-home exams, open book exams when they're done at home, either doing a paper usually. But again, not using software doesn't lock your computer down. Those are the two differences. So you may see you will see those two modes of delivery for your exam on the schedule. The registrar's office will say Exemplify or Examsoft or even Bridges for Bridges exams. But that is how you can tell the difference. So when you see Exemplify on your schedule, you know, okay, I'm using the software. So that is the difference between the two. So Exemplify will require, things with your computer to make sure that you are prepared. You want to make sure you have internet connection. You need to make sure you have Mac or PC. iPads are not compatible. Chromebooks are not compatible. And we will provide information to you if you need to rent a laptop, or also there may be a couple available in the registrar's office itself, but we will provide the information on how you can do a day rental with MediaTek. Obviously, you should make sure your power supply is fully charged and bring your power supply with you on exam day. Very important to make sure that you do not have an issue with your computer on exam day, and you will run out of power, and then you'll have to write the rest of your exam. So make sure you bring your power supply. Make sure that your computer is completely virus-free and functioning properly. Again, all this should be done in preparation of your exam period, so you don't have an issue when it's actually time for exam. You may need webcam and microphone access. We will let you know if you need to make sure that is functioning. For for right now, Exemplify and Examsoft exams will not need webcam or microphone access. However, if something changes, we will give that information to you. And then also at home, you should make sure you have printer access. If you're at home taking a take-home exam, it will be easier for you to obviously print out your exam, to have it in front of you so you can do your work on your computer without having to swap windows back and forth between your exam and your answers. So one of the important things, again, preparing for your exam period is to make sure that your software is on the computer and that it is compatible with your computer. We provided a link via email, and it's also on our website to get to minimum system requirements for the Exemplify software. It handles most Windows 10 and most new Mac operating systems, as far back as Big Sur. You should make sure you get familiarize yourself with the software, and you can do that by doing a mock exam that will be talked about later. Again, the mock exam you can do. We provide as many as needed. You can also ask for more if you want, but you can make sure you definitely at least complete one per semester, because it makes sure that your computer is still compatible with the software. That's the number one reason to continue to do mock exam, is to make sure that your computer is still compatible with the software. It will point out that there's any issues, and then you can take care of those. Again, it's all about preparation before the exam period starts, not on exam day. One of the things I want to mention about software is that you should be, I always tell students to not update your operating system during the semester, especially when Macintosh and Windows are always coming out with new versions of their software. You have to make sure that Exemplify is compatible with those new softwares before you download and update your computer. So the registrar's office tries to make sure they provide information on that note in terms of what's compatible, what's not. If there's new systems coming out, is it compatible yet or is it not? But it's always helpful to wait until the term is over before you make any updates to your computer. So again, how does the software work? So you boot up the software, and it doesn't lock down your computer yet. You're able to download the exam. You're not able to open it yet without the password, but you download the exams and you have them there available to you. You can see them. You'll see them though once the registrar's office allows you to see them. Now, we may not have the exam yet from the professor, so you may not see it until we actually have it. But you will then be able to download it, again, not access it until we actually give you the password. Now, you obviously need an internet connection to take an exam. However, you do not need to have internet access throughout the exam. So if you're concerned that your laptop goes in and out of connection to the internet, that won't actually be a concern. You just need internet access to download an exam and then to upload an exam. So you don't have to be concerned with losing connection throughout an exam. It's very reliable as long as, again, you make sure your computer is compatible with the software. Sometimes, yes, there is, doesn't happen often, but it can, once in a while freeze, and you just have to reset your computer and get back into the exam. However, you don't need to be concerned, because all the while in the background, your work is being saved every 60 seconds. So again, this software is used by other law schools. It's also very, as of right now, used for the bar exams. So you definitely want to be familiar with the software. You also want to make sure that your computer can use the software. In the email that we sent you, there's a link and you see it here also as well. And this is where you can find out information about downloading the software, but also you can see that support button there. So if you go to the web page shown, click the support button, you can get access to numbers and email addresses of Examsoft, who are the number one place you should go to for assistance um, that's not on exam day. So if you're in the building, you're in the room waiting for us to give you the exam. If you have an issue, obviously you should flag us down in the room. But if you're doing a take home, if you're working on your computer at night and you're trying to, uh, you know, make sure it's compatible and something is coming up, definitely use the support button here, as that is your best way to get help right away. Again, the Examsoft folks can help you with a wide range of topics. You see them here, installation or registration of the software, downloading and uploading an exam, taking the actual exam, and account settings, device settings, technical issues, etc. So on exam day, you should definitely arrive at least 15 minutes early, definitely even earlier if you can. Um, again, doing that will assure us that your computer can be turned on, get into the software, and then we can troubleshoot any issues that come up. You cannot have any materials on the second floor. If you're doing a closed book exam, all bags must stay in your car, in your locker. They are not allowed on the second floor. No food. All you can have is water in a clear container. Um, Again, you should come right in, launch the software, as we will be walking around as we prepare exams. And normally we have exams in 3 to 4 rooms at a time. So we're going to be walking around and trying to make sure we help as many students as possible. That's why it's imperative for you to get in, sit down, sign in, and get the computer on and into the software. So again, we talked about being prepared, and the reason for that is we may not be able to help you, but 5 minutes leading up to the exam. We're going to be walking around trying to help as many people as possible, but if there's an issue with your computer, you must be prepared to write your exam, as we cannot delay the start of an exam for a student who's having technical issues. You will be forced to, unfortunately, write your exam. That's why it's very important for you to be prepared. What do you bring? We talked about what not to bring. You should bring your student ID, pens, pencils, highlighters, your anonymous number. We will have that in the room if you need it, but please try to bring it. And we will provide pencils and earplugs. We kind of talked about it already, but again, no cell phones or smart watches. Absolutely cannot have those items. No book bags, computer bags, or purses on a closed book exam. No unauthorized materials. Either make sure that whatever the professor allows you to bring, that's the only thing you bring. If you're able to bring an outline, but not a thesis book, then or a treatise, then you cannot bring those. No noise canceling headphones are allowed. No earbuds, and no food. We will provide you scrap paper attached to the exam, so you don't need to worry about bringing scrap paper. And we have to also, we must hand that in at the end of the exam. So we will give you the scrap paper, and we also will collect it at the end. Only one person may leave the room at a time, so you will want to check in with the proctor if you need to leave the room, and you may not leave the second floor at all. You cannot go outside, you cannot go downstairs, you can only stay on the second floor. As we talked about proctors, you will have a proctor in your room. They oversee the exam administration and monitor the activities of the students. If you have any question whatsoever, quietly approach the proctor, and they can determine what should be done with what your issue is. Either contact the registrar, or help you with any question you may have. For students who finish an exam early, if you finished more than 15 minutes early, you can leave the room as long as you're quiet. You want to make sure that you completely upload your exam and get the check mark on that. You want to save and exit the software, turn in the exam scrapbook, um, anything that was provided to you. You want to make sure you return that back to the proctor and leave the room silently. Um, and definitely also leave the building. Um, Sometimes students will congregate down in the lobby. The noise travels up, so we must ask you to leave the building or go down to the bistro. If the 15-minute warning has passed, you will not be able to leave the room until the exam is completely over. So you'll have to sit quietly and wait for the exam to finish. The proctor will give a 15-minute and a 5-minute warning. So we talked about it, but yes, the proctor will collect everything from students. So once the exam is over, everybody still remains seated and quiet. You can collect the materials, put them together, and then hand them to the proctors as they walk around. And nobody will leave until dismissed by the proctor. We need to make sure we have all the exams, all the scrap paper, and we can't have people moving around before leaving. As we said, 3 to 4 rooms may be doing the exams at that time. Some of them may have started after yours. You must leave the second floor silently, as exams will still be going on. And again, do not stop in the lobby. Keep going outside or down to the bistro. And absolutely, no students can wait in the couches area on the second floor. So like I said, sometimes the internet can be spotty during an exam. That's not an issue. But when it comes time to upload your exam, you may have some issues. And normally there'll be a button that says exit to dashboard of the software. And that will actually kind of reset things. And once you go back to the dashboard, normally the exam will then upload. If you are having any issues uploading your exam, and it's before the 15-minute period, quietly walk up to the proctor um, with your laptop, and they can help you upload that. After the 15-minute warning, obviously you must stay in your seats, and the proctors will walk around and get to any students who are having trouble uploading the exam. But again, normally an exit to the dashboard of the software will do the trick. Again, yeah, we'll be available at the end of each exam, walking around as much as possible to help you. So before, if you need to reschedule an exam before the day of, or within 24 hours. So if it's a week before and something has come up, you need to contact the Dean Lally or Dean Goldstein to talk about the issue and to request a reschedule. Um, you may have to provide documentation of whatever the issue is. No matter what, though, you do not contact the professor for any reason. Either contact the registrar, contact Dean Lally, Dean Goldstein, but do not contact the professor under any circumstance. So again, before 24 hours of the exam, you can request a reschedule. If you have an emergency on exam day, please email the 3 folks you see down below. Myself, Dean Lally, Dean Goldstein. They need to know what is going on. Make sure you're safe. 2, they need to determine what to do about your exam. And also make sure you copy me on the email or get notification to me, because we'll be looking for you on exam day and trying to contact you to make sure you're okay. So it's just better to notify all 3 of us of an issue on exam day. As you read that there, is basically what we were just talking about. You can review section 506 of the student handbook for information about rescheduling requests. Again, do not contact the professor. File as early as possible We normally provide emails, information about reschedules well in advance and give you the due date of getting those reschedules in. Obviously, same day emergencies, there's a different topic. This is for reschedules in advance when you know there's a conflict. Also, review the honor code in the student handbook. Um, it's very important to review this honor code as you are complying with the honor code before as you take an exam. You are agreeing to the fact of the honor code, so it's very important for you to review what you're complying to. Academic dishonesty includes dishonesty in any academic pursuit and the giving or obtaining of any unfair academic advantage. And failure to report, the failure of a student with personal knowledge of prohibited conduct to report such conduct. And again, review that in the honor code. Okay, so that's the presentation. I want make sure that you do go in and take the mock exam. There is information on our website that I'll also include in the email with this presentation about the mock exam. So again, we sent information about downloading the software. I will send that again. So you need to download the software, make sure it's compatible with your laptop, take a mock exam, get familiar with the software, um, you know, spell check, word count. You can trigger alarms in the software, learn how to submit an exam. Just definitely take the mock exam at least once just to get familiar with the software, but as well as making sure your computer is compatible. And again, Student Finance and Records is here for you at at all times during the business day. You know, I also do answer a lot of email and at off hours, so we are there to help you. I can't stress this enough to be prepared for the exam in terms of the software. It's one thing to be prepared for an exam and actually studying for the exam, but don't add the anxiety on top of it by having trouble on exam day due to not preparing your software, preparing your laptop. Uh, I just want to hope that that you can do this for yourself in terms of preparing ahead of time with the software and taking the mock exam. So again, thank you very much for listening to this presentation, and I will be sending this to you via email, and you'll be getting contact information and links. Please do your part and look at this and make sure that you are fully ready to go for midterms and finals. So thank you very much. Take care.